Hello, it's me, Dazzle. Welcome to Dazzle TV, and my husband Gino is on the camera. I just want to do the intro because I just want to say thank you to all of you guys for reminding me to stay strong and to keep the faith. It really helps knowing that there's a lot of people rooting for me and Gino to beat this thing. So thank you so much.
Today's topic is going to be chemotherapy here in the Philippines. I'm going to be discussing the procedures, the cost, specifically chemotherapy at Medical City in Iloilo. My next chemo treatment is actually tomorrow. So the day before you do your chemotherapy here in the Philippines, you would have to get blood work. And the blood work that they do, they just want to check your white blood cells, creatinine, they check a lot to make sure that all your organ functions are functioning properly before you get the chemo treatment the following day. Chemo treatment here in the Philippines is 3 weeks long per cycle. So the first cycle, I was done with the first cycle already. I'm on my second cycle now. The cost for each cycle for the 3 weeks is about 75,000 pesos. So about $1,400 is the cost. And then per week, each time you have treatment, you have to take anti-nausea medicine. You also have to take to make your immune system stronger. There's medicines that I have to buy, and we buy our medicine at Mercury Drug because they're the most complete pharmacy here in the Philippines. So that's an additional about 5,000 pesos a week. So I would add, since it's 2 weeks long for the chemo, and you get the chemo is 3 weeks, but you get week 1 you get treatment, week 2 you get treatment, and then you get 1 week where you don't get any treatment. That's what they considered a cycle, 3 weeks, because they want your body to recover after the 2 weeks of chemotherapy. So one cycle, the overall cost would be 85,000 pesos. So that's about $1,600 is the total cost. It's not cheap, luckily, it's like I have TRICARE insurance, so TRICARE offsets the cost. So out of pocket, Dazzle and I, we only pay about 25%. So, but it's still, it's still a lot, for 3 weeks of treatment, but it is what it is, it's our health, I have to get better, so I have to get treatment, so we'll keep pressing on. I'm taking 2 chemotherapy drugs. First is cisplatin, and I'm told even in worldwide it's widely used, and I did research on it. They gave me like a brochure on all the side effects and a lot of side effects, but it is what it is again. And then the other one is gemcitabine is the other one. So I get 2 chemotherapy drugs when I go to my treatment. I'm now going to discuss the Oncology Department at Medical City Iloilo. The Oncology Department actually it's really not big a room. There's I would say probably 500 square feet. I would say, and there's an area where the nurses and where the doctor sits. There's a long table, and they have their chairs, a computer. And then they have another room where that's where they have to mix, I think, the chemo meds, because the chemo meds are given to you intravenously through an infusion pump. So they have to get it into an IV bag. And then there's a restroom. And usually when Dazzle and I come there's 3 other patients in the room that's getting chemo treatment. There's a long couch in there where sometimes if I'm the only patient left, Dazzle can come in. But if there's other patients there, they prefer that family members are outside the room. So usually there's three of us that are the patients receiving chemo treatment. And the biggest difference that I've seen, I worked in hospitals in the United States. When I was in the military, I was in medical, and also the last job I had when I was in Arizona was in hospitals. So the biggest difference I noticed is like in the United States, privacy and the HIPAA law it's really important to have privacy. Well, here you don't really get that. It's like there's really no separation between the patients, and we're just sitting there. We can actually talk to each other. Actually, while we're getting treatment, patients are coming in that are getting consultations from the doctor. So the patient would just sit on the couch, and then the doctor will be right there discussing their medical issues, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm hearing this. So that's kind of new, but I guess it's not a big deal here in the Philippines. HIPAA and privacy laws, it's not a big thing. And one thing, I think Dazzle even, when she's outside, she's talking to all the family members outside. She's learning more about cancer than I am, because Dazzle's like asking people there, hey, what are you in your loved one here for? And they're all becoming friends because it's we're pretty much on Wednesday. We're the same three people pretty much on Wednesday. There's one lady I know, I've been a couple of times getting chemo, and she's the same person I'm seeing. But, and I guess they do chemos daily, but I'm on the Wednesday schedule. That's why I'm seeing the same people. Just a little different from what I'm used to. Like I said, in the US, usually when you talk to your doctor, it's a private conversation. You're in a room with your doctor and no one else. So that might be a little different when you come to the Philippines. That will surprise you. Now I'm going to discuss the day of the chemo treatment. The day starts for me like I'll have my lab work today. Today's Tuesday and tomorrow's Wednesday. So Dazzle and I, what we do is we'll go to the hospital about 8:30 so we can stop by the lab and pick up my lab results. And once I get the lab results from the lab, we head up to the Oncology Department. And the Oncology Department, they're there. My appointment is at 9, so we get there a little early before 9. To show up there, we give the nurse Juliet, and she's really nice. Juliet's been my infusion nurse every single time. Really good with the getting my veins and stuff. Thank you, Juliet. It's like appreciate you. So when we get up there, she'll review my labs, and then she'll call my doctor and discuss my labs with the doc, just to make sure that, again, all my organs are still working properly, and that she can start the IV. Because that's the first thing that will happen at 9 is she'll start me with an IV. The reason for that is they want you well hydrated for the chemo treatment. So I get the IV, a full bag of IV, and usually it'll get done in about 30 to 45 minutes. And then once that the IV bag's almost done, I get pre-medication is what they call. The pre-medication, I'm told, is like anti-nausea and for my something for my stomach. There's like two vials. They inject it right on your IV, so you don't have to get injected in your arms. They just connect it to your IV, so it gets to you intravenously. And so I get my pre-meds, and then after the pre-meds, about 30 minutes, they'll start me on my first chemo. Gemcitabine is the first one that I get, and that usually will last about 45 minutes, and then after 45 minutes on that chemo drug, they'll put another IV bag, just to make sure that, again, I'm hydrated. Because the second chemo drug that I get, the cisplatin, I think that's the one that's really strong. Because I can even feel it in my arms, like when they start the cisplatin, it warms my right arm, or and they're usually going in my right arm. And the cisplatin is where they even wrap it in aluminum foil. The whole line they wrap in aluminum foil. And I'm told because the medicine cisplatin is sensitive to light, so they have to protect the medicine from light. And that one actually takes long because the bag of cisplatin is it's big, and it'll last, I would say, at least 3 hours. And it's a slow pump, it's like, because I'm always watching, I'm always paying attention to the infusion pump, the rate and the drip, making sure everything's working, so it takes a while. I mean, you have to sit there for at least 3 hours to get that. And then after that second chemo drug, they do the flushing, is what they call. And the flushing, another IV bag, and which after that, that's when I start wanting to pee. I always have to use the restroom when they do the flushing. So the whole process starts at about 9 and doesn't get done till about 4. So I'm there sitting in that chair getting chemo treatment for 7 hours. So really long day sitting there, really tiring. So and then after that, the nurse and the doc, they'll go over with Dazzle. Actually, they'll call her in. They'll go over with her with the instructions on when I get home, what stuff not to eat, what things not to do. And then the doctor writes me a script for my medicine for that week. So that's the chemo portion. The last part that I want to discuss is my reaction to the chemo. The first cycle I thought was easier than this second cycle. And I think a lot of that is because my immune system is getting lowered now. Even on my blood counts, it's showing that my white blood cells are lowering in counts, which is expected, because the chemo, attacks your immune system. My good friend Gray, he was telling me that's why my stomach is more sensitive now, because it's killing a lot of the enzymes in my stomach. So it's as expected, because on the first cycle of my chemo, normally after 3 days, I start feeling better. I'm actually able, after 3 days, I'm able to eat more solid food. Because right now, it's like this second cycle, all I've really been eating the past week is I've eaten oatmeal and a lot of yogurt. Yogurt's been like my friend. It's like, as a matter of fact, today after my blood work, Dazzle and I will go shopping at the grocery and just buy a ton of yogurt because it helps. That's the food that I'm able to tolerate. But meat or anything like that, I wouldn't really recommend eating, because the first cycle I was able to eat some meat, not many, but I noticed I'm pretty regular at going to the bathroom, but after I went through that cycle 1, I really got constipated. And I've never, Dazzle can tell you, I never get constipated. I'm pretty regular because I eat a lot of fiber. I even have Metamucil, it's like, but now I know that, it's like, after chemo tomorrow, I'm really not gonna touch solid food for a while, at least 3 or 4 days. Like this past cycle, I haven't eaten much solid food. Strictly been liquid soup, oatmeal, and yogurt, and blended drinks, blended fruit drinks, and just fruit. I got my fruit cups, things that are easily digestible, and then my Ensure, and then my good friend Gray, he mentioned like the protein powder. I can add that to my oatmeal and things like that. So I actually started doing that. This past week, Dazzle, I know it's been hard for her too, seeing me weak, and I know you guys worry when you see her that she's almost crying in the video, but Dazzle's just like that. She really cries easily. I tell her all the time, it's like, I understand, because you know you have to realize Dazzle's 27. She's never really been through a lot of hardships in her life. You know, unlike me, you know, I'm 56 years old. You know, it's like I've seen just about everything in life. You know, like even now that this got thrown at me. You know, it is what it is. You know, it's like I know it's just part of life. You know, it's like you just gotta keep on going, keep on being positive. But that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you in our next video.